D2 Word Life here with the biggest Paul Heyman fan, Riptides.
Go fuck yourself, you fucking fat walrus looking ass. Paul Heyman loving bitch.
You kind of fucked your entrance up with your coughing there. But okay, whatever. So anyway, the reason why I call this guy the biggest Paul Heyman fan there ever was, which low-key he is.
No. Well, okay, you are the fat fucking walrus looking Paul Heyman loving bitch.
I mean, we all know you're a big Paul Heyman fan. That's not the only Paul you're a fan of.
Yeah. We all know that you are too.
No. But anyway.
Now, the reason why I decided to do this one instead of Armageddon was because right after Backlash, the goat of goats of hardcore besides Terry Funk had passed away, and I'm referring to Sabu.
Yeah.
The homicidal, genocidal, suicidal superstar.
Yeah, and the news already spread around about that, which that was sad. I wasn't expecting to read that one. When it happened, right?
Yep.
I mean, didn't he just have like his last match like about a month ago, from what I understand?
It was like a week before.
About a month or a week before or whatever.
I think it was like a week before Backlash. It was Sabu versus Joey Janela.
Yep. But that being said, obviously, because of that, we decided to push the Armageddon 2008 review back, and instead this week we are, if you read that in my description of the Backlash review, this week's review is ECW's One Night Stand 2006 pay-per-view. That took place on June 11th, 2006 in New York City at the Hammerstein Ballroom, with an attendance of 2,460, and the commentators for this event were Joey Styles and Taz, for the most part, right?
No, it was just Joey Styles at the beginning, then Taz
well,
joined
it was just
him
Joey Styles for the first match, and then Taz joined him to call the rest of the matches after he's...
Yeah, which was a bullshit match in the beginning.
Which we'll talk about, which will be very brief. And the ring announcer was Steven DeAngelis. DeAngelis? I can't pronounce that last name. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names half the time, as we all know from the past.
Not just bad with names, he's bad with words.
Look who's talking. Look who's talking, Mr.
Go fuck yourself. Just because I had a fucking brain disconnect for a fucking second and it fucking didn't want to come out the right way, go fuck yourself.
And speaking of speech, not just speeches, I could barely decode half the text messages you send me half the time.
That's because I do text-to-speak and it doesn't fucking pick up every fucking word I say. So it comes up with gibberish.
Anyway, the event started with Paul Heyman in the middle of the ring, or coming out to the ring with the fans chanting ECW, right? And pretty much...
And the theme song, by Drowning Pool, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor!
Yeah, that song brings back memories for me, which I am not going into right now.
That's because your body hit the floor.
Only insiders would know the reason why, and I am not revealing that here.
Because your body hit the floor.
Yeah. But anyway, Heyman at the start stated that this ECW's resurrection didn't happen because of me. Didn't happen because of Vince McMahon. That name got a freaking loud boo like it would today. All right.
Yeah.
But for obviously different reasons. So it just happened because of you, referring to the fans. And on behalf of every single one of us, from the bottom of my black heart, he didn't say black heart, but he might as well said that. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And pretty much after that, they went to their opening video package for the hype of the show. Right?
Yep.
Okay, this one's going to be a really brief match because the first match on the card was the Battle of the Commentators. It was SmackDown turned ECW commentator Taz taking on the Raw commentator Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Taz came out first, thunderous ovation. Jerry Lawler music started playing, that place booed. This was a very pro ECW crowd, and I'm gonna be taking note of that for every single time the fans got really vocal here. By the way, because this event was infamous for it, as we know.
Yes.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler came out to a course of booze, but on his way to the ring, he didn't even go to the ring. He went up to the commentary table, shoved Joey Styles down, got to the ring, and when the match was about to begin, Joey Styles jumped on his back, jumped on Jerry Lawler's back, and as soon as Jerry Lawler got him off his back, it looked like he was about to fight back. That's when Taz snuck up from behind, locked Lawler in the Taz mission, and won the match after Lawler passed out.
Yep.
I'm not fucking kidding. This match clocked in at only about 35 seconds. It was a total squash. Just me.
It was bullshit what it was, because fucking Joey Styles shouldn't have been fucking it. And no, it's not because of that. It's because of the fucking refs were biased as fuck.
I mean, to be honest, my description of what happened here lasted longer than the actual match itself. So yeah, you can consider this full detail. The only time I'm going to do that, because there wasn't really nothing here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So obviously this one has a bad shit rating for me. We'll discuss that later. Right? So yeah, and then we go on to the second match of the night, and after Taz decided to go on the commentary desk with Styles after that little squash, which
It was bullshit because the fucking refs were biased as fuck.
I mean, would you even consider that a squash? It wasn't a match. It was like really fucking short. Ugh. But anyway, here's the match that I thought really kicked off the show proper, and that was Kurt Angle, who recently defected from SmackDown to ECW, actually got drafted to ECW, taking on Raw's Randy Orton. Right?
Returning Randy Orton.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Orton had to take a couple months off following WrestleMania 22 due to a broken ankle that he suffered at the hands of Kurt Angle. No, I'm like, I don't know if that was like part of the story or not. The injury could have been real, but we don't know if it was caused by Angle or not. But knowing that Angle's submission move was the Angle lock, that could have been the case. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think the broken leg was caused by Angle, or if it was just an injury that
combination of both,
or an injury that freaking Orton had for a while and took time off after Mania to heal?
It was a combination of both. They could have had it, but Angle fucking aggravated it.
Yeah, but either way, Orton was 100% made his return on the Raw prior to this, answering Angle's challenge for a match here at One Night Stand. And yeah, when Orton came out, yeah, there was a lot of crowd. Everyone in the crowd was chanting "fuck you" to Orton and flipping him off while he was making his way to the ring.
Yeah, well, at this time, Orton still had his Rev Theory entrance.
Yeah, it's Shining My Light theme. He didn't have the voice yet. He wouldn't have the voices theme for another 2 years at this point.
Yep.
And of course,
so no one has schizophrenia.
So yeah, and then Kurt Angle freaking made his entrance. He got the big pop, obviously, despite being a recent draftee to ECW, not even associated, because before this, Angle was actually going to be in ECW at the start of his career, until a certain Angle from 1996 that he was involved in, or not involved in, he actually witnessed in person. He goes, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And yes, I'm talking about the Sandman Crucifixion Angle.
Yep.
Yeah, Kurt Angle was in attendance that night. He was actually thinking about signing with ECW in '96, but that did not happen. And Kurt Angle would not go into pro wrestling fully seriously go into pro wrestling until '99 with WWE following that incident. Right?
Yep.
But either way, freaking Angle was now on the ECW roster, and well, and yeah, there was a. Before we talk about some of the spots in the matchup here, we gotta talk about the crowd some more because there was some choice words that the fans had for Orton here, which would not fly today in this day and age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying what the fans are saying here. I'm not saying this how I totally feel. I'm just saying what the fans are saying here. Said here, some of the chants included "Go fuck Cena," and there was another chant saying "Orton's a homo." Throughout that match, I'm like, wow. I'm just like, wow, that shit you definitely would not hear today. All right?
Well, they were saying fuck Orton and everything else.
Yeah, and every time Orton was on offense, the crowd just heckled him even more. Right?
Yeah, like I said, it was fucking biased.
I mean, the fans didn't give a shit. The fans, if you weren't an ECW representative at this show, the fans freaking made you steamrolled your ass with negative chants. I mean, hell, if I had to compare this to the modern day, if you think freaking Dominic Mysterio gets heat in the modern day, it's nothing compared to this crowd. Just saying, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, and they were also freaking calling Orton a cat, and I am not, but they didn't actually say cat. They said the other word, right?
Fat?
What's another word for cat that starts with the letter P?
Pussy?
Yes, they were calling him that too. Right?
There's nothing wrong with the word pussy.
Yeah, well,
pussy.
It's also a slang term for other parts.
And?
As well. But anyway.
Quit being a pussy and start saying the words.
But anyway, Lord forbid if they chatted anything really messed up to where I couldn't say anything here.
Oh, they did.
Oh, yeah, they did. But anyway.
Certain words will fucking get you banned off of fucking YouTube.
Yeah, which is why we can't go into freaking repeating everything the crowd said here. You're just going to watch this event for yourself to hear all that. But anyway, in the early going, or near the middle match, Orton gained the advantage of the match when Angle missed a running shoulder tackle, which sent him into the ring post. And when freaking Orton was performing rest holds on Angle, like, the good old-fashioned chin log and everything else, the crowd was chanting boring, right?
Yeah.
And the crowd was chanting boring when Orton had the advantage, when he applied a rear choke on Angle, but Angle freaking came back later on with a series of German suplexes, which the crowd went nuts for that, right? And then Angle performed an angle slam onto Orton for a 2 count, but Orton fought back, attempted an RKO, but Angle countered into an ankle lock, which Angle
attempted to counter it into an ankle lock because it got the attempt got countered by Randy.
Yep. But after some more back and forth, eventually Angle was able to get that ankle lock in, and Angle grapevine his legs, so Orton couldn't really go anywhere, which resulted in Randy Orton tapping out, giving Angle the win here.
Yep.
I thought it was actually a good back and forth match for the most part. Your thoughts on this one as a whole? I know we didn't go into it in great detail, but from what you remember seeing of it, what's your thoughts on this matchup between Orton and Angle?
It was better than the fucking match that's fucking was before it.
Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I thought Kurt Angle and Randy Orton were the ones who freaking like were the first match at One Night Stand, but then I got reminded of that whole Jerry Lawler Taz debacle. I'm like, okay, that's what opened this show up. I don't really count it because it was a crap fest.
Yeah,
Right?
well, this is what it fucking made them have another match at another pay per view because of the biased referees.
Yeah, but then after the match, Randy Orton literally had to be helped out by two officials out to get back to the backstage area where the fans were just jeering him immensely. Like, they weren't burning him, they were totally roasting him over an open fire.
Yes.
Oof. And if you think that was bad, wait till we talk about that main event, right?
Yep.
But anyway, the next match on the card was a tag team match. It was featured the full-blooded Italians, which is Tony Mamaluke and Little Guido, better known as Nunzio, taking on Super Crazy and Tajiri. Which this was, I believe, Tajiri's first match at a
Well, they also
WWE
had
or ECW event in over a year, or about a year.
Well, this is him. He had just returned to his hometown in Japan.
And I heard Tajiri's still going strong today in Japan, from what I've found out months ago. Right.
Yes, Tajiri is still wrestling in Japan.
Yep.
He's wrestling in Noah, Dragon Gate, New Japan, and I forget the other one.
But either way, he's still going strong in Japan today. I mean, he's like a veteran now of the sport. Right. But anyway, one spot that freaking goddamn stood out to me was when Guido propelled Crazy into the freaking crowd. I'm like, wow, line darting him, pretty much. Long darting him, yeeting him, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep.
And this was a fast-paced back and forth tag match. It was really short. Well, obviously not as short as the first match. So let's face it, this tag match might as well have been an Iron Man match compared to that opening contest, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but after some good back and forth between the two teams, freaking Guido and Mamaluke executed a muscle buster on Tajiri for the pinfall win. But then afterwards, the Big Show came out, entered the ring to his new theme song, which would be more familiar today. Back then it was new theme song since he just joined the ECW roster not that long beforehand. And he came out and just destroyed everyone.
Yes.
By delivering a Cobra Clutch backbreaker on Mamaluke and kicked FBI's freaking enforcer Big Guido in the head out of the ring. Pretty much dominating everybody in the segment.
Yeah, he started coming out to, wow, it's the Big Show.
And then it was his slower theme that everyone's familiar with nowadays. Right.
Well, that was because when he turned heel, they didn't want that fast-paced one, so they decided to slow it down.
And to me, I mean, this is just my opinion. Yes, I know when I was a freaking kid, Big Show had his original theme, but I think his freaking slower theme that he had afterwards, starting pretty much at this point, was a better theme compared to his old one. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, your thoughts on this tag match plus the Big Show destroying everybody at the end?
That was good. Did they try to face the Big Show? Yes. Did they win? No.
Big Show's a giant.
Was it a fucking squash? Yes.
And of course, this was just the beginning, because as we know, Big Show would go on to eventually win the ECW championship less than a month later. More on that at the end when we talk about that whole incident. Right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and before we got to the next match, which was the Extreme Rules match for the world title, we gotta talk about this before the match could even start. JBL made an appearance up in the freaking like skybox area, just like he was there like the year prior at One Night Stand, talking about how he was the king of hardcore and that how he was gonna replace Taz on commentary on SmackDown. But that's not what this promo is remembered for. Oh yeah, and you also mentioned about his legit assault on the Blue Meanie from the year prior, right? Saying, you know what happened to me about that? Nothing. Right?
It wasn't an assault. It was a mugging.
Yeah, as we know. I mean, Blue Meanie's face was pretty much exploded.
Do shit. An assault is literally fighting back. Blue Meanie couldn't do shit. He got his ass whooped.
I mean, yeah, shit. He
got mugged like JBL, like he owed JBL money.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know we're going to eventually review One Night Stand 2005, and we'll talk more about that in depth when we see that, because that was part of the big brawl at the end of the show, of that show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that Blue Meanie got his... It wasn't even an assault, because an assault is going back and forth as in a fight.
Yeah.
There was no fight. It was just JBL mugging him.
Yep. But anyway, despite what JBL said about, the Blue Meanie incident, calling himself the king of hardcore here, and pretty much bragging that he was going to replace Taz on SmackDown as a commentator, which he would do for the remainder of 2006 and 2007.
Until he got the Intercontinental Championship and then faced Rey Mysterio and then got retired by Rey Mysterio.
The part of this promo that JBL cut here at One Night Stand 2006, which stands out to me, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows because they pretty much seen the clip, was when he was in the middle of the speech, right? And he got heckled by the crowd saying, "You suck dick," just quoting what the crowd was chanting here.
Yeah, there's no women here, and you're talking about male genital. Who's a fruit ball now?
That's basically what JBL said, and to me, that's the part of this JBL promo that freaking stood out.
That's what he said.
Yeah, to me, that's the part of the JBL promo that stood out. That everyone knows.
Literally, word for word, what he said. Because he could have said what he wanted to, but they could have gotten in trouble.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He had to adjust the way he said it, because everyone knew what he meant when he was saying that.
And I'm just like, wow. And I'm just like, yeah, and to me, everyone's probably seen that clip of JBL roasting the crowd saying that from this event.
Yes.
So, yeah, out of all of his promos, to me, that's obviously the one that stands out. No one really remembers what else he said here. Right?
Well, he's also saying, "Oh, I am what I am, and I say what I am, and I am a wrestling god."
Yep. So, yeah, moving on from there, we get to the World Championship match, which was fought under Extreme Rules. I mean, I might as well just say, from here on out, every match is an Extreme Rules match. Even though the six-person tag was built as hardcore, that was still technically Extreme Rules, right?
It was contested under Extreme Rules. They said that.
Yeah, but anyway,
it was technically supposed to be no DQ for the sub, but they decided to change it.
But anyway, the match we're about to talk about, Extreme Rules for the world title. It was World Champion Rey Mysterio taking on Sabu, who, as you know, at the beginning of this, recently passed away in real life at the age of 60.
He passed away on Sunday. God rest his soul.
Yep. But anyway, I'm not going into every single like obvious spot in this match. I mean, balls are crazy. Rey Mysterio, Sabu made his entrance first, got a big pop here. Rey Mysterio came out and he kind of got mixed reactions. I mean, half the crowd was cheering him
because he was originally in ECW.
Yeah.
And then when he got moved up to he left and got moved up to the main roster.
Yeah.
He kind of left everyone hanging.
Like, I get it. Rey Mysterio's career in the United States really began with ECW in 95, 96. But then, he would leave the company, go on to have a decent career in WCW. I'm not going to say it was the best, it was decent. But then Rey Mysterio really became a main event star in WWE after WCW folded. You know what I'm saying? And then, well, Heyman offered Rey Mysterio a spot on the ECW roster and leading up to the show, and Rey Mysterio declined. And, half the crowd was cheering him, half the crowd was booing him, but Rey Mysterio did have the ECW letters printed on the back of his mask for this one. Right?
Yep.
When I say these two went at it, they freaking went at it, dude. Right?
Sabu and Rey Mysterio literally had a grudge against each other at this point because they were basically they were mentored by his uncle,
the original Sheik.
Yeah. And the original Sheik really paid more attention to Rey than Sabu, and then Sabu went his own way. So he kind of was trying to get a little bit of payback at this point.
There was a lot of chair shots in this freaking match, as we know.
The whole goddamn match was chair shot, table, chair shot.
I mean, at one point, freaking Sabu actually did execute the poetry in motion with a steel chair, what he's known for. I don't know the actual name of that move. That's what I know it as. Right? When he jumped off the chair and landed his body into Rey in the corner.
Well, it's technically a flying hip.
A flying hip attack, yeah.
But when Jeff Hardy does, they call it the poetry in motion, so everyone knows it as the poetry in motion.
Well, basically, Sabu did that move, but instead of another person that he jumped on, it was a steel chair. Right?
Yes. Well, technically, you can still call it poetry in motion.
Yeah. Yeah, and then at one point, Sabu was in control for the most of this matchup, including at one point executing an Arabian facebuster and a triple jump moonsault, but Mysterio kicked out at 2 on both of those moves. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then both of them. Yeah, and then Mysterio got the upper hand shortly afterwards.
The Arabian facebuster, that looked fucking nasty because that literally landed on Rey's head.
How was Rey's head not crushed after that? That's what I want to know.
Dude, he was concussed. You could fucking see it.
Yeah, and at one point, freaking Sabu then hit a triple jump somersault splash. This was after he put Mysterio on the second table, onto a table on the outside. But Mysterio made it to his feet on the table, right?
Yes.
But before we get to how this match ended, one spot that made me go, oh, what the fuck, was when Sabu took that steel chair and just threw it like it was a goddamn long dart at Mysterio's head. One last time. That was a loud crack.
Oh, you mean like you tried to do to me in 2K and then I reversed it and threw it right back at you?
Yeah, but this one was loud and hard. I'm like, fuck me, right? And this is when the action was getting good, but then we have to talk about the ending.
This metal fucking chair is literally coming at your face. You're going to get hit hard.
But yeah. But yeah, freaking Mysterio. There was a table propped up between the ring and the guardrail, by the way.
Yeah, Sabu had gotten the table, then he fucking said, fuck the table for a second. Went to attack Rey Mysterio more, then decided, oh, I'm not going to put the table up like normal. I'm going to lean it on the rail and the freaking mat.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the ring. Yeah, in the ring and the freaking guardrail here. So yeah, Mysterio was like literally on that, was standing on the table. Freaking Sabu freaking tried to, like I said, tried to execute the triple jump somersault somersault splash, but Mysterio got up and well, freaking Mysterio turned that into a DDT through the table. Or I think Sabu turned that into a DDT through the table. And that's when the officials came.
He did a flying DDT onto that table, which concussed Ray even more, which could have broken both of their necks.
Yep.
And for this, I actually found out on interviews that I looked online and reels that it was planned to be a double knockout.
Yep.
And Sabu actually got in trouble for getting up sooner than what was planned.
Yep, but because of that, obviously, the doctors came out, officials came out, and pretty much said neither of them can continue. This match is over. This match ends in a no contest.
Yes.
Which the crowd was heavily chanting bullshit to.
Yes.
And to me, that hurt the ending, but long story short, because of how it ended, Rey Mysterio still retains the world title. Right?
Yes.
Is there better Rey Mysterio matches out there? Yes. Is there better Sabu matches out there? Yes, and more violent ones too. Right?
Yes.
But was this match entertaining before the crappy finish? Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, after that match left a bad taste in everyone's mouth because the ending, we go on to the next match, which was originally supposed to be Edge and Mick Foley taking on Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk. Right?
Yeah, it became a freaking 6-man tag.
6-person tag. Hardcore brawl. Yeah.
Essentially a mixed gender tag match today.
It was pretty much an
you guys will find out why towards the end. It all started because Mick Foley was saying, yeah, they had a banger of a hardcore match at WrestleMania 22.
Yeah.
Edge and him, and then he calls Edge out.
And Edge
and
Mick
they
Foley
become the co-holders of the
Resurrected Hardcore title.
Yes.
Which
the reinstated resurrection of the hardcore title. And then fucking Paul Heyman, your man, Paul Heyman.
That ain't my boy, that's your boy.
Of all wrestling comes out and literally says that Mick Foley is a prostitute.
And Mick Foley pretty much said that, yeah, he respected freaking Terry Funk and respects Tommy Dreamer for what they put their bodies through, but none of them did what he did.
No, he literally went to the main fucking show,
the WWE,
with 3 different fucking characters.
Not to mention having a match in it.
And almost dying on one of them.
And almost dying in one of the best Hell in a Cell matches of all time, and battled back to become a 3-time champion.
Yes.
And pretty much made it, and pretty much turned his name into a household name because of WWE.
Yes.
Something that he didn't freaking do in ECW. And of course, before we even get to the match itself, Mick Foley came out first. And he trolled the fans. He goes, I would like to apologize. I said some derogatory remarks about ECW. He goes, yeah, there was a time where I respected ECW. when it was ran by a fearless leader who knew what they were doing. So give it up for Stephanie McMahon. And I'm like,
And then he's like, "Oh, hail the Alliance! Oh, hail the Alliance!"
and I'm just like, dude, you gotta remind me about that stupid invasion angle. Fuck that. Which reminds me, we still got to review the invasion pay-per-view too.
Go
Oh
fuck
god.
yourself. Go
Uh,
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
and not only that,
That goddamn thing could die.
and not only that, we got to review SummerSlam 01, Unforgiven 01, and No Mercy 01 because we already did Survivor Series, all having to do with the invasion.
Yes, but Survivor Series was the best of them all.
And the one that finally put an end to that crap. Right?
Yes.
But anyway, then Edge and Lita came out, and Lita cut a scandalous, scathing freaking goddamn promo. Right? Pretty much saying that when she was sitting on Dreamer's face during a matchup he had against Edge, that was more freaking action Tommy Dreamer got in one night than any of y'all's getting in a year. Or something like that.
Could you also say that Tommy Dreamer got smothered by Stank?
I guess if you want to put it that way. Right?
Because we all know that Lita's a husk.
Yeah, but then Dreamer and Funk and Beulah McGillicuddy came out, and Beulah McGillicuddy goes, you know what, instead of a tag match, how about we have a 3-on-3 6-person hardcore match instead? Right?
Well, it all started when fucking she's like, "Oh, that was the best act. It was better for you than it was for me, but because you only have that skank ass hoe." And then that's when Terry Funk's music hit, and then they came out, and Beulah McGillicuddy, or at that point was actually Tommy Dreamer's wife.
Yeah.
Came out and said, "Oh, you put your money where your mouth is." And fucking make it a 3-person hardcore match.
Oh, yeah, and according to resources, Beulah McGillicuddy and Tommy Dreamer are still married today.
Yes, they're still married.
So,
and
yeah.
their twin daughters were on the season 6 of The Sopranos.
Yep. So, yeah, because of all the trash talking and everything else, that's officially turned into a 6-person hardcore tag match. Okay, now, you know, at this point, everybody was giving the negative freaking chant to freaking Lita, even on Raw, because of the whole You Screwed Matt freaking stuff from a year prior, right? So what do you think these lovely ECW crowd was chanting to Lita here?
Ho, 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 ho.
Well, at one point, the crowd chanted, she's got herpes.
Well, yes. Well, also at one point, they also called her a slut.
And the crowd also started chanting, she's a crack whore.
Yeah, well, I also like the commentary that Taz was saying. He's like, "Oh, I don't know if Edge is rated R, but we all know that Lita's rated XXX."
Jesus Christ. He's had to bring that up. I mean, everyone was burning the hell out of Lita here. The crowd, the commentators. But yeah, we'll be freaking talking about that when we get to the main event.
That was fucking funny as hell, though. Taz literally said, "Oh, I don't know if Edge is rated R, but we all know that Lita is rated XXX."
Yeah, but getting to the match now, at one point Foley and Edge were in control, so they went under the ring, and this was after a bunch of weapons were used, and they were all beat up already, but Edge and Foley went under the ring and produced a barbed wire board. You know, a giant-ass board with barbed wire wrapped on it, because why not? Am I right? And
Yes.
the first thing they do was just freaking drop it all over Tommy Dreamer's body. And I'm like, ow, fuck that. All right?
Yep.
And then at one point, the freaking barbed wire board was put all over Edge and McFoley's body when a move got reversed with him holding the board, right? Mostly Foley got the worst of that and got stuck to it, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we can't talk about this match without talking about what Foley did to Funk. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, this was
With the barbed wire wrapped around his freaking arm.
Well, this reignited their fucking rivalry that they had when they were Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie.
Yeah, explain what happened
And
here.
that's where Mick Foley as Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk. And then it's now Mick Foley as his Cactus Jack persona anyways, but himself.
Which is pretty much not that far off from his Cactus Jack persona anyway.
Yes, and fucking literally goes and grabs his goddamn barbed wire baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
Beats the shit out of him. Then you think that's over? No.
He takes the barbed wire
and wraps it around his arm.
Sadistic son of a bitch. Am I right?
Oh, you think that is bad? No. Then he proceeds to wrap it around Terry Funk's eye.
Yep, his forehead and his eyes got it.
Yes.
Fucking his eye up. Bad. Looking like he was trying to rip it out.
They had to rush him to the hospital that night to make sure that he didn't lose his eye.
Looked like Mick Foley was trying to rip it out of socket with that barbed wire.
Yeah, they were literally saying an eye for an eye.
And I'm just like, yeah, and because of that, the freaking doctors had to be like, we gotta take Terry Funk to the back stat, and that like right now. This is bad. Right?
Well, he was bleeding excessively and also screaming, "My eye, my fucking eye, my eye!" And then fucking Edge and Foley have an advantage against Beulah and fucking Tommy Dreamer.
Oh yeah,
and then lo and behold, Terry Funk comes back out.
Oh yeah, and mind you, Terry Funk, I believe, was in his mid to late 50s at this time.
Yes.
Yeah, but well, like we said, Funk returned, big ass bandage on it, blood freaking obviously still pouring, right?
Yes.
But you know, Funk was crazy. He's like, I am freaking finishing this match.
Well, we also forgot that ladder spot, too.
Oh, yeah, the ladder spot.
Where they literally brought in a ladder, threw it at him, and then Terry Funk proceeds to climb the fucking ladder.
Yeah, and then gets dumped right off of it. And this was before the barbed wire spot.
Yes.
God damn. But anyway, Foley returned after I believe Beulah was a dick to Edge's Rated R Superstars and Mick Foley's with a low blow. Double low blow.
Then Terry Funk comes back up, and what does he bring with him? A 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire.
Which
not like we had enough fucking barbed wire laying around.
Yeah. And then as soon as Funk got the upper hand after nailing Edge and Foley with a barbed wire bat, what does Funk decide to do? He's like, I'm gonna light this bitch. So he lit it on fire and smacked Foley with it, resulting in Foley's shirt being caught on fire. And then Foley fell through the barbed wire, or through a table, whatever. Right?
Well, he got hit with the flaming 2x4 to the outside of the ring, and then Terry Funk hits him again with it, which makes him fall into the barbed wire board.
And that's when the officials put it out with a fire extinguisher.
Exactly. Yeah, fire extinguisher and barbed wire. Yeah, that's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, and then after that whole thing, Dreamer hit the DDT on Edge, and then
Edge hit Funk into the barbed
barbed wire
wire
as well.
board as well. He literally pushes him off.
And I'm like, that's true friendship right there between those two. With Edge and Foley with Foley and Terry Funk in the barbed wire.
Yes.
Of course, then freaking Dreamer got the upper hand on Edge by DDTing Edge and then logging a crossface on the Edge by using the barbed wire to wrap around Edge's face too.
Yes.
During the submission only for Lita to break it up. And then Dreamer then gave her... But then Dreamer was like, screw this bitch, right? And then, Dreamer...
Pile driver.
Yeah, Dreamer proceeded to give her a spike pile driver, then known as the Dreamer driver, one of his signatures. Right?
Yes.
Of course, then Edge came back, blindsided Dreamer by wrapping barbed wire around his head before dropping him with his inverted DDT signature. Right? So yep. Dreamer was out. Freaking McGillicuddy realized she was the only one left for the team. Which then but then when she was in the ring checking on Dreamer, Edge speared her and, well, let's talk about the pin. You can talk about the pin and what it looked like.
He folds her up and proceeds to hump her.
In missionary. To get the 3 count. That's the most cheesiest fucking ending to a match I've ever seen. It was violent, though.
Yes. And at the end, yeah, they pulled Mick Foley off the board, but they literally had to cut
Terry Funk out of it.
Terry Funk out of it because the freaking barbed wire was in his arm, tearing up his muscles.
And I'm just
because you can literally see the lacerations that were in the fucking skin turning purple.
And I'm just like, wow, okay.
And they were worried about his eye, too, because he went face first into the barbed wire.
Yeah. But if that's not the epitome of how freaking hardcore Terry Funk was at the time, I don't know what is. There'll never be another crazy summer.
After he left WWE, he was doing fucking death matches. Barbed wire death matches.
Up until basically the very end of his life.
Yes.
I mean, Funk, yeah, passed away in 2023, a few years ago, but...
Same as Bray Wyatt. Literally days after each other.
Literally 24 hours before Bray Wyatt's shocking passing, but either way, in the modern day, there's nobody that's going to be as crazy as Terry Funk, crazy as Mick Foley, or crazy as Sabu. There can't.
One. No, 2.
Who are you 2 people in the modern day that could be as crazy as them?
Abyss, which is Joseph Park, and John Moxley.
Okay, so 1, John Moxley. Abyss since retired. He's a trainer and backstage agent in WWE.
Yes, but he's as crazy as them, though. He looked up to Terry Funk, Sabu, and Mick Foley.
And John Moxley, he's just fucking, I don't know if you call it crazy or stupidity. I still can't get the image of that freaking goddamn nail board that he had in his back out of my mind.
Doesn't. What sane man makes a fucking 2x4 and then just puts nails in it and calls it Janus?
No sane man, no sane person I know. But anyway, the next match was also an Extreme Rules match. I really don't remember this match happening on the show, but apparently it did.
And Joseph Park, who is Abyss, can wrestle at any time he wants to. He just wants to let his body rest, heal, because he fucking went through everything when he was wrestling.
Okay, Abyss's time in TNA, that was freaking crazy. Look at the crazy matches he was in, which... might have to freaking consider getting a TNA subscription just for us to review TNA shows and see that carnage. All right.
Yeah, he was in barbed wire. He was
barbed wire, thumbtacks, fucking glass.
Glass.
Any other dangerous weapon you can think of.
Yes. Monster's Ball, which you literally being starved in a room for 24 hours or tell the duration of your match.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then you go out and run.
You go and wrestle in that no holds barred extreme rules type match.
Yes.
Oh boy. Anyway, the next match on the card, I totally forgot this match happened, but it was Balls Mahoney taking on Maso Tanaka. Now,
Hey, you got his name right.
Now, Maso Tanaka was known in ECW for his rivalry against Mike Awesome, which he fought Mike Awesome for the last time at the previous year's One Night Stand. I know that. Right?
Yes. Well, he also fought him as Mikey Whiplash as well.
Yes, but Mahoney got the advantage early by throwing a beer can in the face of Tanaka, which he got from the fans, one of the fans in the audience. That was a waste. That was alcohol abuse. That was a waste of beer. You know how expensive that shit is at these events? Very. Right?
Yes.
But Tanaka then gained an advantage by executing a suplex off the top rope, but Mahoney got the advantage and ended this rather, I wouldn't say short, but it wasn't as long as the last one we talked about. He won the match by hitting Tanaka repeatedly with a steel chair. End of story. I really totally forgot about it, and that's probably why. Because Balls Mahoney at the time was known for swinging chairs. He was a chairman of ECW. That was like his go-to weapon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, your thoughts on this one?
It was hard hitting.
Yeah, it was hard hitting.
Did they both face each other more? Yes.
Did they both have better matches in the original ECW? Yes. Oh. But it was just a similar man. It was mostly.
Balls Mahoney was at least in his early to late 40s.
At this time.
At this point.
Yeah, the late Balls Mahoney, yeah.
And he was literally wrestling a dude that was a year younger than him, 2 years younger than him.
Yeah, about.
Somewhere around there.
So, yep. So.
And he still put on that banger?
Yep, so.
And then he continuously put on bangers? Yes.
Yep, so I thought to me, it just felt like the cool down match before the main event. Which it was, but, it served its purpose, and the fans still got their hard-hitting fulfillment before the main event. You know what I'm saying? So the next match on the card was the WWE Championship main event, which they did the whole video package for and everything else, but before the match could begin...
Technically, before that, it was the Eugene.
Do we really got to talk about this cringe segment?
Yes.
I'd rather go back to talking about the JBL promo. That was more entertaining. This one was just...
No, sadly, no. It's in your contract.
This one was just freaking cringe.
It's in your contract that you have to review every single thing.
So, yeah, Eugene basically came out and cut a promo. He reminded the fans that he was Eric Bischoff's nephew. Yeah, that name in ECW got a lot of boos. Right?
No.
And then he's like, oh, I wrote a poem for ECW. You guys want to hear it? Everyone was like, fuck no. But the part that kind of made me laugh in this whole cringe segment was one of the fans yelling out, fuck you. And then Eugene was like, oh, good luck too. I'm like, I totally no selling.
I'll hug you, I'll hug you, I'll hug you, I'll hug you.
And I'm like, this is cringe. Someone save us from this freaking crappy fucking segment. And then the music hit. And then the Sandman came out through the crowd.
It wasn't Sandman's original one, but his second one was really good too.
Yeah, I know. Due to copyrights, I don't think they could have played. I don't think they chose not to play the original, but either way, the Sandman came out. Obviously, the crowd got a standing ovation, right?
Yeah.
And then the Sandman, looking as disgusted and cringed out as we were, got into the ring, and before Eugene could even say anything to the Sandman proceeded to beat the living hell out of Eugene with that poor cane.
Not just one, but two.
Which led to Eugene freaking running to the back with Sandman chasing after him. I'm like, good, cringe promo over. All right.
That was your favorite segment of the night?
No.
Yep.
So now we go to the main event proper, which was John Cena defending the WWE Championship against Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam came out first. Obviously got a mega pop from the crowd. He was the ECW original. And this was Van Dam's Money in the Bank cash-in match. By the way, he won the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 22, which we reviewed. And of course, this was his cash-in match. Announced that he was going to do it here at One Night Stands. Hence why we have this match. And in case you're wondering about it, yes, this was Extreme Rules 2. Right?
Yes. Well, he came out on the Raw after winning the Money in the Bank and literally saying, "Oh, I'm going to cash this in at a place that that's extremely biased in my opinion, in my favor."
Yeah, kind of like you when you challenged me to Game of Pain. Anyway.
It's not biased in my favor whatsoever. Just because I beat your ass 99.99999% of the time.
Yeah, you beat me 9.9. You beat me 999.999.999 feet slide percent of the time. You see what I did there? But anyway, after Rob Van Dam's entrance, oh boy. Oh shit. We have to talk about it. John Cena's music hit, and if you think he was hated as the whole "Let's Go Cena sucks" guy, this crowd absolutely made sure to let John Cena know he was public enemy number one.
Yeah.
They didn't just boo the hell out of him. They were flipping him off, chanting "F you, Cena," but they didn't say "F you," but you know what I'm talking about.
They said, "Fuck you, Cena."
Literally flipping him off in the crowd, freaking saying "you can't wrestle," even going as far as throwing his shirt back at him before the match even started.
Not just throwing his shirt back at him. They literally wiped their ass with it, spit on it, and then threw it.
Like, if they're, like seriously, you think Dominic Mysterio gets heat today? No, this was more intense than that. Right?
No, you think John Cena as a heel now is hated? No.
This was
2006.
At this show specifically.
This specific show, everyone hated anyone from WWE.
Yeah.
If it was anyone that was not from ECW, they hated them with a passion.
And Cena was the poster boy of WWE at this time, and that's why he was hated so damn bad in this match. Right?
Yeah, and then they kept saying, "Oh, same old shit, same old shit, same old shit." I'm like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, they were chanting "same old shit, overrated, you can't wrestle, and fuck you, Cena." All right?
Yes.
Amongst others.
And at one point, they also threw toilet paper into the ring.
And they were also chanting other derogatory things that obviously I cannot repeat here, including a fan having a sign that was a little spoof on the whole "champ is here" freaking slogan that Cena said, which I cannot repeat here either. Right?
Oh, you can repeat it if you want to get in trouble.
Yeah, which is why I'm not going to repeat it here. Just use your imagination.
Let's just say it's
Let's just say the word.
word for cigarette, but not a cigarette.
Let's just say this word also rhymes with the word here. That's all you need to know, and it's really derogatory and shit that if you got said here on YouTube, my channel would be shut down. All right?
Yeah, that's why I said it would. Let's just say it's the French word for cigarette, but not a cigarette.
Yeah. But anyway, after all the entrances were done and the crowd was literally throwing Cena's shirt back after spitting on it, wiping their ass with it, like, I'm pretty sure if there was a fan that claimed that shirt and was like, yay, John Cena shirt, they would be hunted with torches and pitchforks at this point.
The damn shirt, he would not give a shit.
And I would just look at you and be like, yeah, run. Right?
Yeah, you just see me grab a fucking barbed wire shit. I'm like, yeah, now come at me, motherfuckers. Come on. Come on.
Anyway, in the early going after the opening bell, freaking the action went to ringside rather quickly, and then Van Dam got advantage of Cena by hitting a moonsault press off the steel steps, and of course Van Dam continued the offense while the action spilled back inside the ring when he placed a chair on Cena's stomach before executing the Rolling Thunder onto Cena, which made with the steel chair there, which made the crowd really cheer, right?
Yes.
But then when Cena got the advantage by executing a DDT onto a steel chair, the fans went back to booing his crap again. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then shortly later on, freaking after reversing an FU attempt, or blocking an FU attempt, Van Dam would set up a table up in the corner, but then Cena got Van Dam into the STFU, right? But then Van Dam got to the rope, but Cena refused to break the hold. And then when the referee got told Cena, gotta break it, literally Cena got off of Van Dam, clotheslined the referee, and took him out. Right?
No, the thing was, it wasn't even fucking because it was contested under ECW rules, which was extreme.
Which means anything goes. Cena could have held on to that hold for until the next day if he wanted to.
Yes, but the fucking refs were biased as fuck.
Saying you gotta break the hold. It's a rope break. It's extreme rules. What are you talking about? There's no DQs in this thing.
That's what he was telling the ref, and then the ref's like, "Oh, I'm in charge." Blah 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 blah. Slaps him, and Cena's like, "Fuck it."
Clotheslines the referee.
Yes.
I mean, hell, if Cena wanted to, he could have had that submission hold locked on to Van Dam for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes straight while Van Dam was in the ropes if he wanted to.
Yes. This is why I did not care for this fucking pay-per-view so much, because of this shit is that the refs were fucking giving every fucking advantage to Rob Van Dam. Yet when Cena tried to pick up a weapon, he tried to fucking do whatever, they're like, "Oh, no, we'll take this away from you. Oh, we'll give it to Rob. Oh, Rob's going to hit you with it. Okay, nothing."
But then we got to talk about this more. Cena then proceeded to deliver Van Dam, proceeded to give Van Dam a superplex off the top, and then he hit Van Dam with steel steps, knocking him out. And then freaking Cena went for the cover, and then Nick Patrick, who's a SmackDown official at this point, a fair referee, right?
I like how the fact he comes out because freaking Cena's calling, so he just comes out with a blue shirt that literally says SmackDown.
Yeah, and then Patrick counted 1, 2, and then Van Dam kicked out, right? Near the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that referee got knocked out as well at some point. But
because Rob Van Dam fucking tried to hit Cena with a chair, and he dodged and he hit Nick Patrick in the head.
Yes. Yeah, but then Van Dam or Cena went for the FU, but Van Dam freaking grabbed the ropes, which led to. So Cena decided to deliver Van Dam an FU to the outside of the ring. And then Cena then turned around. And then as Cena turned around, freaking he got speared through a table by someone wearing a motorcycle helmet and a long leather jacket, which that person took off the freaking helmet to reveal himself as Edge.
Yes.
Which the crowd was chanting "Thank you, Edge" after heckling him earlier in his match. Right?
Well, we all knew it was Edge because he was still wearing the same fucking vest that he wore when he was wrestling.
And Edge at this point was the #1 contender for a WWE title match at the 2006 Vengeance pay-per-view, which would happen after this event. Right?
Which
and
was
it was
triple
Edge.
threat.
And it was Edge who knocked freaking Nick Patrick out. Yep. But either way, by the way, the crowd was loving this only because they knew Cena got screwed. And they appreciated that, right? And then that's when Van Dam went up to the top rope, proceeded to hit the 5-star frog splash onto Cena. You know, Van Dam's finisher. But then there was no but then there was no referee. Van Dam tried to revive the referee, but Paul Heyman ran out to the ring. Yelled at Van Dam.
After John Cena freaking superplexed Rob Van Dam, he went on to the outside and picked up steel stairs.
Yes.
And Chad was always like, no one thought that John Cena could go hardcore.
But yeah, like I said, Van Dam hit the 5-star frog splash on Cena after the whole Edge putting him through the table spot. There was no referee, but then Paul Heyman ran out to the ring, yelled at Van Dam to cover Cena right now, and Paul Heyman made the 3 count.
And this is where which is controversy as fuck, which they corrected it was to a triple threat at Vengeance.
Which, because of that 3 count, it gave Van Dam the WWE Championship, despite the ring announcer announcing Van Dam as the new ECW champion. Right?
Well, yeah, but he won it with asterisks.
Yep, so...
Because Paul Heyman was not a ref. He was a general manager. The general manager does not run out and fucking just count to 3.
So yeah, controversial ending or not, the show ended with Rob Van Dam winning as the WWE champion here. And the crowd didn't really give a fuck. They were cheering it like he was Van Dam was their conquering hero. Right? So, and what happened afterwards? Well, after this event, Van Dam was awarded as the ECW champion on the relaunch of ECW. Right?
Yep.
And Van Dam would successfully defend the championship against Edge at Vengeance before his title reign went up in smoke when he got caught in possession with marijuana, which was illegal at the time, right?
Yeah.
So Van Dam would drop the WWE Championship on Raw to Edge in a triple threat with Cena, like you alluded to. And he would drop the ECW Championship the next night to the Big Show before having to serve out a 30-day suspension. And he never got a sniff at the main event scene ever again. Following that.
No, he did.
Okay.
Never in ECW, but when he went back to WWE, yes.
Well, I guess you could say Van Dam would be a world champion again later on in his career in TNA. So is that. Right?
Well, he was champion in TNA, but when he went back to the main brand, he got his push as a freaking trying to get the title.
As a title contender.
From heavyweight and the WWE.
As a contender, but he never won it, but he did. I get what you're saying. He did compete in main events years later.
Yes.
So, that's the review of One Night Stand 06. Now we get to go to our favorite part of the reviews, like I always say. That's our rating system and our final grade for the show. So, Taz defeating Jerry Lawler in a squash. Easily 0 out of 5. The weakest match of them all.
half a star.
Why do you give it half a star compared to my 0?
Because Jerry fucking slapped Joey Styles right in the mouth.
Kurt Angle.
Joey Styles was talking shit.
Yep. Kurt Angle defeating Randy Orton in a great match. I gave that one 4 3/4 out of 5.
I'd give it a 4.
The FBI defeating Super Crazy and Tajiri. I just gave that one 3.5 out of 5.
2.5.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a little bit more than you did. World Champion Rey Mysterio and Sabu fighting each other to a no contest in that Extreme Rules match for the World Championship.
5 out of 5.
I gave that one 4 out of 5 only because the ending fell flat. But
5 out of 5.
But the action beforehand was spot on, in my opinion. Edge, Mick Foley, and Lita defeating Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, and Bill McGillicuddy in that 6-person intergender tag team hardcore match. 5 out of 5.
99.9999999
out of 5. So pretty much same as me. High score. Right?
Yes.
Balls Mahoney defeating Maso Tanaka in that Extreme Rules match, sleeper match. About a 3 out of 5.
I give it a 4. It was decent.
And Rob Van Dam defeating John Cena in that Extreme Rules match to win the WWE Championship amongst all the controversy.
I'd still give it 5 out of 5.
I have to give that one 5 out of 5 because just the moment of Van Dam being WWE Champion, despite the way he won it, was well deserved at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I still gave that one 5 out of 5 as well. So my final grade for ECW's One Night Stand 2006, I gave a B, a solid B grade.
A.
Okay. So yeah, that's our thoughts on ECW One Night Stand 2006. This was your pick this week, and I know you changed it due to real life circumstances here. So next week is my pick, and well, just as promised, my pick this next week will be the 2008 Armageddon, the original one that was supposed to be this week's review. That we all know had the triple threat main event with Edge, Jeff Hardy, and Triple H. And that should be that show overall should be a decent show.
No.
So yeah, anyway, until then, we will talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Deuces.